I'm really delighted to be here with you. So I am Anna Daddio. I am the thematic lead, the Global Education Monitoring Report, which is the tool to monitor progress of SDG 4, education, in the Agenda 2030 at UNESCO. So I will start this panel with a presentation about some ideas on the issue that the panel will discuss, and in particular, how to break barriers, and if there are barriers in science to diversity. So in fact, just to start, yes, the short answer is, unfortunately, there are barriers. There are barriers to diversity in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields. And these barriers are very different and are many. And even if countries have tried to address these barriers, unfortunately, there are still too many people, too many youth, adolescents, and children that are left behind in education. And the barriers exist because of financial constraints, because of poverty, because of conflicts, crises, and emergencies, because of inadequate access to educational resources, lack of infrastructure, insufficient textbook and other educational resources, or lack of teachers. We heard a lot about teachers already. And full of socioeconomic factors, but also something that is very important for the panel, we will discuss later, are culture and gender stereotypes and bias, which bias who effectively can access science and technology domains. So, in fact, why we are discussing these barriers, why it is important to talk about the barriers, because there are many reasons. First of all, there are really serious consequences in leaving underrepresented groups out of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. One of the first issues is that these underrepresented groups have less opportunities to contribute to innovation and technology advancement. And also because we know that currently with the development or the increasing importance of artificial intelligence, there are biases in machine learning algorithms that are reflected in what is produced. And this risk to perpetuate inequalities over time. And this is really an important issue. And there are an emerging literature that shows that the bias are embedded in product development ideas and research everywhere. So it's important to talk about diversity because diverse educational backgrounds and experience foster an environment where creativity and innovation flourish. And there are really huge advantages to have diverse people working in science. Some of those are mentioned here. Diversity enhances creativity, broadens the innovation scope, improves decision-making, and allows to produce ideas and products that reflect the global needs, not just the need of someone. And that's why also STEM is really vital for science and technology. It fosters innovation, problem solving, and technology advancement. When STEM education is good, it also allows to develop in the students critical thinking and a strong foundation in scientific principles. And in fact, STEM fields are really vital to address issues that are urgently needed in our society, related, for example, to public health, climate change, sustainable energy. We will discuss this later, the role of institution, the higher education institution. The role of higher education institution in science is vital for different reasons. However, it's also a role that in some cases foster inequality. If you look at the number of publications and patents, they are concentrated in high-income countries. This means that there are many that are left behind, and there is not, I would say, a representation of everyone in science everywhere. Something that has already been mentioned, and I think it's really important for the discussion we are having today, is that academic achievement, gender, and social identities determine aspirations for STEM education and careers. We know that there are increasing number of girls that are enrolled in tertiary education, but the choice of field of study remains gendered. If you look at this chart, presents some data from the UERJ, the Institute of Statistics of UNESCO, about STEM graduates, and we can see that globally, women on this period represented barely 1/3 of the world graduate. And also, it's interesting, this chart is very interesting. There are data from PISA 2022, and show that if there is, this is the score in the gender parity or the gender non-parity in science. It shows that the level 2 is the low performers, and the level 4 and above are the top performers. So if you see the violet, the purple bullet indicate level 4, so the top performers, the gender in parity, I would say, in science. And you can see that if there is almost gender parity, at minimal level of proficiency, women are much less represented among the top performers. This chart is for science. There is the same thing for mathematics. And the important thing is talking about all this is not just gender, it's about many other characteristics, but the message is that these different characteristics, this inequality, crystallize in the labor market. You have wage-gender gap in the professional, intellectual, scientific categories for women, but also for differences that are based on race, on ethnicity, and on other characteristics. You can see here in 2022, 17 of patent applications were filed by women and 83% were filed by men. So there is a huge issue to discuss in terms of gender or gender parity or lack of diversity in STEM. And even the legislation of countries are not really supportive. Only half of the 68% of countries globally that support STEM supports inclusion of girls in STEM. And to conclude, so how can STEM diversity be encouraged in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics? There are many things that can be done. But one thing that is really important is start early. Another important thing is really to modify the culture of school and education, prepare teachers to deal with diversity, to be inclusive, and really showcase role models and mentors that allow different groups to be represented in science, technology, mathematics. Also, providing career guidance and counseling is very important, as it is to enhance the visibility of diverse scientists, also supporting them with financial assistance and scholarship. So I will close the discussion, my presentation here, and I'm really glad to continue this discussion with the panel that follows. Thanks a lot.